Okay. Good evening. It's Tuesday, February the 21st at 7 p.m. and this is the Adelaide Metcalfe Township Council meeting. In the room tonight, we have, Morgan, our CAO, our treasurer, our clerk, Mike Barnier, and then I'll just ask everybody to pull the mic around and show people on YouTube who's here. I'm going the wrong way. Just like me, wrong way here again. There we go. Okay, so everybody's here this evening. We don't have any absentee counselors, and our staff is all here as well. So I'd like to call the meeting to order. And if there are any declaration of pecuniary interests or general nature thereof, please declare them. Seeing none, we have the minutes of the previous meeting before us, February the 6th. Are there any errors or omissions? Seeing none, could I have a motion to receive those minutes? Moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Kingma. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. So at this time, we will go into the Committee of Adjustment. The purpose of the following Committee of Adjustment meeting is to give Committee of Adjustment, as well as the general public, an opportunity to hear all interested parties with respect to the applications being heard this evening. The public is advised that comments expressed and written material presented are a matter of public record available for full disclosure. Only the applicant or a public body can appeal a Committee of Adjustment decision to the Ontario Land Tribunal. This must be filed within 20 days from the date of the decision. If you wish to be notified of the decision in writing, please submit a written request to the clerk. What's that? Yeah. Could I have a motion at this time to move into the Committee of Adjustment meeting? Moved by Councillor Nordoff, seconded by Councillor Brody. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. So at this time, I will turn over the meeting to our planner, Aaron Besh, to do a presentation on the application for minor variance A02-2323. Go ahead, Aaron.
Thank you, Chair. So the application before committee this evening, I have my location map showing now. So the applicant is looking for relief from section 6.2 of the zoning bylaw as it relates to interior and exterior side yard setbacks for a future single detached dwelling. More specifically, the owner is proposing to build a single detached dwelling with an interior side yard setback of 6.6 meters, whereas a minimum of 15 meters is required, and an exterior side yard setback of 6.6 meters, whereas a minimum of 30 meters is required. So the exterior side yard actually abuts an unopened road allowance. So while it is considered an exterior side lot line, my analysis, I treat it more sort of as an interior side yard with the expectation that this right-of-way will likely not be opened in the future. So the subject lands are approximately 1 acre in size and are vacant of buildings and structures. The applicant is looking to build an approximate 1,500 square foot single detached dwelling, which will be privately serviced and will have an access off of Wood Road. Due to the triangular shape of the land, the applicant is unable to construct a dwelling which conforms to all of the provisions of the general agricultural zone for which it is within. This is sort of a best case scenario where we're taking 2 side yard setbacks that neither of them are going to meet the requirements. So we've sort of split the difference and allowed for 6.6 meters on either side. I will also note that the proposal meets the remaining provisions of the A zone in terms of front yard setback, rear yard setback, lot coverage, and those types of things. So the property itself is within the agricultural area designation within our official plan and the general agriculture A zone of the zoning bylaw. The only item that I wish to point out in my policy and regulatory context part of my report is that section 5.7 of the zoning bylaw does state that existing lots with less than the required lot area or lot width may be used and buildings erected for the purposes permitted in the zone for which they are situated, subject to compliance with all other regulations of the bylaw. So essentially this means that although the property does not meet the minimum size and minimum frontage requirements of the A zone, it is deemed to comply simply by it being an existing lot. So I evaluated the application based on the 4 tests of minor variance, and I'm satisfied that the 4 tests have been met. The application was circulated as per the requirements of the Planning Act. The Public Works Manager advised of no concerns, as did the Chief Building Official. We did receive comments from the Middlesex County Safety and Standards Officer, his pretty standard comments of ensuring that there's addressing, 911 addressing to the property. And this includes temporary signage during construction as well. So my recommendation this evening is for approval with no conditions this evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Erin. Rick, I see you here tonight. Is there anything you want to add to the application? You're good. So no comments from the applicant. Is there anyone here to speak opposing the application at all? Seeing none, is there anyone else here to support the application? And did we receive any written comments from anybody? No. Okay. Okay, so we have a recommendation before us that the application for minor variance A02-2323 filed by Richard Lumen for relief from section 6.2 of the Township of Adelaide Metcalfe Comprehensive Zoning Bylaw number 34-2007 to permit an exterior side yard setback of 6.6 meters and an interior side yard setback of 6.6 meters to facilitate the construction of a residential dwelling be granted. Could I have a mover and a seconder for that? Moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Seeing that we have no more applications for this evening, planning ones, there's a recommendation that council adjourn the Committee of Adjustment meeting at 7:08 p.m. and reconvene into our regular meeting of council. Could I have a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Brody, seconded by Councillor Nordoff. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. So Erin, thanks a lot for your presentation. I'm sure you have more exciting things to do. So if you want to stay on, you're welcome to. Otherwise, we'll see you next time. Okay, so the next thing on our agenda is the Association of Ontario Roads Supervisors, the AORS for Middlesex County, to talk to us about their trade show presentation. So if you want to come up to the mic here, there's 2 chairs available for you to take. We'll turn that over to you. And if you just want to introduce yourselves for the YouTube video, that would be appreciated. Thank you.
No. Okay. My name is John Mayhew. I am the Executive Director of AORS, the Association of Ontario Road Supervisor.
Ryan Hillinger, Middlesex County. I am also working with the association to put on the trade show.
There was a slide presentation. Did it come through? It's much more interesting than looking at me. I'll start off by saying thank you, Your Worship and Council, for giving us some time on your agenda to share what I think is some exciting news. It's a little old news, but it's kind of refreshed, so it's exciting, I hope, again. And it's regarding the AORS Municipal Public Works Trade Show, which Ellen circulated a little brochure or postcard there. The trade show is held each year, always the first week of June. It's held in a different part of the province each year. It's hosted by one of our local associations. The Middlesex County Public Works Association is one of 32 local associations across the province that make up AORS. And the trade show is, as I said, hosted by one of those associations each year. The Middlesex County was originally announced as the host of the 2021 trade show back in 2019 or whenever. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, that got postponed by 1 year and then 2 years. And now we are finally here and thrilled to be holding the trade show in Middlesex County. It will be held at the Gemini Sportsplex in Strathroy. It we'll have about 200 vendors, both indoor and outdoor. The outdoor tends to be the heavy equipment, the indoor, your more traditional booth styles. Great location for a show of this size and nature. Next slide. So just a little background on AORS, Association of Ontario Road Supervisors. It is a not-for-profit, member-based association. Our members are municipal public works managers, supervisors, unlike Ryan and Coulter here. There's, as I mentioned, there are 32 of those associations across the province, about 2,400 active members. In addition to the municipal employees, we also have supplier members who supply equipment, products, services to the municipal sector, and hence the trade show is a good opportunity to bring both of them together. What we do as an association is a lot of training. We have a very extensive training program that is available to our members. We also have a certification program called the Certified Road Supervisor Program that is recognized by provincial legislation. And we also do a number of other activities that support our members. Produce the Spotlight Buyers Directory every year. We hold the annual Provincial Safety Truck Rodeo, of which Coulter is a past champion, excellent driver, and we also have networking events and other things. One of the things we do is advocacy, and just as an aside, we're currently trying to promote public works as a career path for young people. So that's, again, tie that into the trade show, encourage youth to come out to that and see what it's all about, and hopefully get them interested in following these guys in very successful careers. So as I mentioned, the trade show is held each year. It's always the first week of June, brings our municipal and our supplier members together. Typically get around 2,000 people pass through the show over the 2-day period. So draws a lot of people to the area. Next slide. You want to take it over from here, Ryan?
Yeah, sure. So basically, why Middlesex? We put in our application to host this year's 2021's. And fortunately through COVID, we got pushed off to this year. They look for things like where it's located, is it central to like all the other municipalities, being able to attend throughout the show, and close to the 401, and anything that can help make the trade show a success. So Middlesex kind of fits that bill perfectly for that. The only thing we were fighting with up to this point was accommodations, but hopefully we're hoping that those accommodations will be open for our vendors and people who are coming to actually be able to stay at. So next slide, please. So local benefits, it basically benefits everybody in the area. You get a lot of people from outside of the county, from different areas. Usually people travel maximum about 3 hours to come see the trade show. It is just a day event. So, it doesn't make sense for them to travel much further than that, but we will be getting a lot of people from different areas. We'll be getting people from Chatham, people from Toronto, Barrie, all over Ontario will be coming to see this trade show. And basically it affects the businesses. The businesses will be getting more business. Hopefully the hotel will be getting some business from people staying. And the other thing is some of the proceeds, a lot of the proceeds that we get from it, our personal part of the organization, goes towards charity. So we do donate that towards charity because we are a nonprofit. So, we just keep that little bit to keep us running, and then everything goes away, right? Everything goes to charities, which haven't been decided yet, but we're working on that. Next trade show, please. Or trade show.
All a good time.
Yeah.
One at a time, please.
So basically, we're going to need a group of well, we already have a group of municipal staff that's running the trade show. So from every bit of the municipalities they've had someone step forward. Coulter's already offered to help us basically with setup and loading and logistics for that. So thanks Coulter for that. But we have people from Middlesex Center helping us out. Middlesex County, me and Jared are on the actual committee, so we have a few jobs there. Strathroy Caradoc, they have a few people on board helping out. I'm trying to get a little more Thames Center. I realize they're a little further away from the actual venue, but the day of, we're trying to get all hands on board. We're trying to get everybody involved with it. See next, Mike. So basically what we're doing right now is we're trying to go out and make sure everyone's aware of what we're doing. We believe it's beneficial for all of Middlesex County, even if it's not in your direct area, which this kind of is. And just getting the support and make sure that there's no hiccups or people just aren't sure of what's going on. This is something that's hopefully will bring the whole organization together and even just bring the different municipalities together in more of a closer working relationship once it's done. So what we're basically asking here today, and we've already had a lot of support from Coulter and Morgan so far, is just to make sure that we can continue to get staff, and we're asking for just help day of, like that's what we're looking for, the days of the event, where you don't need obviously any funds or anything like that. That's some of the questions that were asked, who pays for this? We pay for it all, but we would like to see some staff volunteering the day of if possible, right? So, having a few workers helping to unload, helping to direct traffic, at front desk doing reception. So that's what we're going to need. And that's where our biggest support from you as a municipality will really help us out. So that's the ask from us.
And also encourage all your staff to attend as well as council. And it's not just for roads guys, it's all public works, all municipal sectors. Get the word out to your residents. It's open to anyone, it's free of charge to attend. And it's a great show, great way to bring people together.
Yep, absolutely. And that's basically it from us. Did you guys have any questions for us?
I do, Ryan. Thanks, John and Ryan, for the presentation. Is there anything that's geared towards school children? Like, is there a program of sorts for that? That could be like, we have a school across the road here. Obviously, I'm just thinking about some benefits. Like
every year we do encourage the local high schools to bring kids as part of a school trip or whatever. The challenge we always have is the timing. In June, most schools have shut down their school trips and this year, I guess this is particularly challenging because bus drivers are in short supply. But we're certainly going to tap the two schools adjacent to the Gemini. But if there are other schools that could be convinced to bring kids, we will certainly encourage them to attend. We can have a dedicated person escort them around, answer questions. We do have a presentation that accompanies this little brochure that we did. So we would set up an area where they could go and get a little bit of indoctrination before they do the tour. So that would certainly be something we'd like to do if we could get the attendance.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else have any questions? Seeing none. Well, once again, John and Ryan, thank you very much for the presentation. I think it's nice to have it in our backyard, and it is good for spin-off businesses and, the hotel being there, and the restaurants in our district, everyone will benefit from the increased traffic for sure.
Great.
So thank you very much.
All right, I managed to get him in the shot here, but he's just going to say hi quickly. This is Henry.
Hi, Henry.
4 months old. We've had him for a week, so he's not really loving this position right now. So
Okay.
say hi, bud. Your first Zoom call. There you go. Okay. All right. There you go, buddy.
Yeah, just hold on a sec, Chris. They're just leaving.
Yeah, we're just
Absolutely.
delegations just leaving. If you
Henry's gone now too. So
What breed is he, Chris?
he was a rescue from ARF, so we're really not certain. They said there's some shepherd and some lab in him, so it's kind of one of those just toss-ups. We're not sure yet, but yeah, we've had him a week and 4 months old, and he's very well behaved for 4 months old. So it's been a great week so far. Time will tell, of course, but yeah, so far so good for sure.
Okay, Chris, our previous delegation is packed up and left, so we'll turn the floor over to you. Chris Bailey, Director of Technology for Middlesex County.
Thank you, Madam Mayor, through you to council. Morgan asked me to come today to do kind of a brief overview of Middlesex County IT, the services that we provide to Adelaide Metcalfe, as well as some of the other local municipalities in the county. Really quick about me, Chris Bailey. I'm the Director of Information Technology Services at the county. I've been with the county almost 14 years now. Had the privilege of working with Morgan previously when he was the director here, and kind of passed the torch off to me. So just going to do a quick PowerPoint here and then open it up to any questions that you might have. Everybody see that okay?
Yes.
Excellent. All right, so quick who we are. The IT department is broken up into 3 different divisions. We have our technical services, business services, and administrative services groups. Technical services is the day-to-day networking systems, laptops, wireless networks, mobile devices. Business services deals more with automation, business development, reviewing services, and really trying to find more efficient ways and more effective ways to deliver those services to your residents. And our administrative services team, we've always kind of called them the lifeblood of the department. They're responsible for all the ordering, asset management, project management, and they're really the ones that kind of bring all the different divisions together. We are responsible for the provision of efficient and effective IT services for 6 of our 8 local municipalities in the county, as well as Middlesex County Library, Middlesex London Paramedic Service, Strathmere Lodge Resident Care Facility, and Community Futures Middlesex. We support over 850 users, 600 devices, and over 80 locations across the county. In 2020, that should say 2022, my apologies, we received over 10,000 service desk tickets, which is a really big number, and one that I was surprised to see when we were crunching numbers. We do that every year. Just to do a comparison year over year. So the requests coming in are increasing exponentially each year. And it's really just an indication of, how important IT services are. The service includes planning, management, and support of information technology. That includes cybersecurity, hardware, software, network, enterprise and business applications, core systems, service desk, data services, and mobility. What we do, we provide high quality, efficient, and effective services to each of the county and local municipality service areas. We do deliver our programs in a way that recognize and respect the context of each municipality. We try our best to leverage things that will benefit each location as we develop them or we roll them out, but there's things that may work well for Adelaide Metcalfe that may not work well for another location. So we really make sure to account for that as we deliver our services. Some of the kind of highlights here is our cybersecurity program. We've got 4 pillars in there: education, detection, containment, and response, IT asset management program, IT budgets, IT consolidation strategy, and data center hosting. I will touch on that a little bit later. Broadband coordination and community engagement, and digital business transformation and municipal modernization. Why do we do it? IT is really important in municipalities. It's really important in all sectors. A reliable and scalable IT infrastructure is critical to the effective and efficient delivery of services. We play an important role in the transformation of the county and our local municipalities towards modern digital platforms. This enables municipalities to be more efficient and effective. You really do require a capacity to deliver services, and through digital transformation and business modernization, we're going to continue to help build towards the required capacity to benefit your residents moving forward. Some quick highlights for you on, more specifically to the township. Some recent projects. Microsoft 365 was implemented last year. Big success. There's a lot of tools and things in there that I know that staff have been using and leveraging to make things more efficient. Digital transformation and automation, cybersecurity program. I'm going to dig into that a little bit more. And IT consolidation and data center services. That's a project we're working on this year. As hardware and servers come up in the county for renewal, we're actually bringing people into the data center. This program is designed to save time, save money, and provide a more secure environment. So, just as an example, and I'm just throwing out numbers here, instead of purchasing something for $25,000, we bring things into our data center. We share those out to you securely. You're still your own autonomous, network. We're not spreading things that way, but it allows you to leverage the systems that we've purchased at Middlesex County for a much less of a rate in comparison to buying your own hardware, managing your own backups, changing out backup tapes and things like that. It's been a really successful program so far. We've moved 3 of the local municipalities in, and we're planning to work on that with the township this year to move you into our data center. I wanted to make sure to touch on cybersecurity. It tends to be kind of the biggest question that I get, always a hot topic. Something we implemented last year for the township was automated phishing tests. This is a monthly program that sends out fake emails that look legitimate. And really, we're trying to educate people as well as keep them aware of things that might be coming through. This has been one of the most successful programs that we've run in the cybersecurity space in recent years. It's really keeping people on their toes. And when you do click the link, it's going to present you with a page that says, hey, listen, you got caught here. Here's some things to look out for. And it also enrolls people in cybersecurity training. It's a 30-minute video just to kind of brush up on the things to watch out for. Incident response plan, very important piece to any cybersecurity program. If something should occur at the township, this is kind of a play-by-play playbook that we can run through at the IT department, working closely with township staff to ensure that we get things back up and operational as quickly as possible. Something we are working on implementing right now is security event log monitoring. This is an external service that monitors event logs through your devices. So everything inside of the office does something called logging. Every time something happens, it sends a log. This service is designed to be 24/7, 365 monitoring of those events. Should something occur, it can automatically make changes that will stop things from getting worse. We have implemented this at a few other locations. It's been really successful so far. The team here is excellent and I have full confidence in them, but I don't have somebody sitting at a computer screen 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. So this is, if something strange was to occur at 3:30 in the morning on a Saturday, this event log monitoring service would pick up on that and notify internal IT staff to, get up, something's going on. But it can also make some changes to block things from happening automatically while we respond to that security incident. Policy and procedure development, something that's really important as well for any cybersecurity program. We're working through a full review of all of our IT policies at Middlesex County. As those are approved by Middlesex County Council, you'll likely be seeing me in the fairly near future to bring some of those to your council as well, just to review and hopefully approve those. It's just a good guideline for staff, and it keeps things very clear and transparent as to the responsibilities and the guidelines when using technology. Aside from that, kind of a whirlwind, I know, but that was just a brief overview of what we do. Happy to answer any questions and discuss anything if anybody would like. But I wanted to come today, and Morgan asked me, and I was really happy that I got the invite today. So thank you for having me, and happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions for Chris? people usually only have a question when things don't work, I find. So,
It's very true for sure.
yeah, Chris, I'd just like to make a couple of comments. As you know, I've sat through your presentation, for the budget committee at county council, and I found it very interesting to see the usage, the graph that showed the usage go up so much in the last 3 years. And I'm sure it's not just because of COVID, but your team does an excellent job. Your response times are great. And like you said, you're available 24/7, 365 days a year. Even if it's not you, it's one of your dedicated team. And we really appreciate that support that you provide. You're solutions driven, that's for sure. And for those that don't know, on council, we actually have a contract with Middlesex County, and I believe that's up next year. So we look forward to continuing the relationship as long as there's economies of scale and we're saving some money. So you'll have to dance for your dinner again at some point, but we appreciate you coming today. And once again, thanks for all your support that you provide.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Thank you, members of council and staff. I really appreciate the invite, and have a great night.
Okay, we'll see you soon. Take care. Thanks for coming.
Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll move on to section 7 of our meeting for this evening under correspondence. The upcoming conferences, seminars, and meetings. The next Adelaide Metcalfe meeting of council is on Monday, March the 6th at 7 o'clock. And then the one after that is the planning meeting for council, and that's March 20th at 7. Under section 7B, recommended readings. There's the Osaba Bayfield Conservation Authority, the Board of Directors meeting highlights. Blue Water Recycling Board of Directors meeting highlights. Is there anything, Garrett, that you want to add to that report?
Yes, thank you, Mayor Clark. I guess I'd like to point out that there's this concept called extended producer responsibility that we are all going to be wrestling with. It's slated to arrive in our township on April 1, 2024. It's a concept whereby the producers and manufacturers of packaging and various other items are responsible for the full life cycle of the products they generate. So this is the idea there, of course, is to make sure manufacturers understand and innovate with their products such that whatever is discontinued has value later on.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Kingna. And then the next one is the County of Middlesex Council highlights. And the next one is Hydro One Longwood to Lakeshore Project. And I asked that that be put on the agenda. I met with Ontario Hydro a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember the date exactly. And it was to discuss this Longwoods to Lakeshore project. It's a 2-phase project. I guess that's the best way to put it, going from the Longwoods area down to Lakeshore. And then the second phase is Lakeshore to Windsor. And the reason why it's on our agenda here for recommended readings is they think they just are going to go down number 2 highway, but when they plan these studies and these projects, they have to look at a larger catchment area in case they run into sensitive issues or matters that force them to go off course. So for Adelaide Metcalfe ratepayers, the effect would be down the Melbourne Road to Calvert Drive. So Innadale being the last road of Adelaide Metcalfe on the south, bordered by Melbourne Road, and then up to Calvert Drive and straight out there until you hit Alvinston. That area is being looked at in their study as well. So they do have a couple of public meetings coming up. One of them is in Glencoe, I believe, and then there's another one in Strathroy, and that's noted in that paper there. So for any of the ratepayers that potentially could be affected, it might be worthwhile to go out. They talk about everything from compensation to what that looks like on your property and so on and so forth. So if that's something anyone's interested in, they can perhaps get more information at the office here or reference that on the agenda and they can read up on it. So the other thing is CC5 resolution. The city of Brantford is asking for support for the Via Rail cancellations. Is there any interest in that? Counselor McKinnon,
I was for support because this could be our municipality receiving cuts in the future.
okay. And Counselor Kingma, your comments?
Sorry, I'm recommending that we file. I
Okay.
think VIA is perpetually in a bit of trouble. As long as it's inferior to freight service, I don't see any tactical or strategic upgrades available for VIA. And while I do support reopening line 86, I think in general, we've thrown money at VIA for far too long. And until there's a way to have dedicated transit for trains, I don't see a path forward.
Okay, thank you. Any other comments? So if anyone wants to make a motion one way or the other, we can see how that lands on the floor. Counselor Kingma? Okay.
My mic.
Okay, so we have a motion from Counselor Kingma that we support that we file, resolution for the city of Brantford via rail cancellation. And that's seconded by Counselor Brody. All those in favor? And that's carried. So that's for that one action item. Could I also have a motion to receive and file CC 1, 2, 3, and 4? Moved by Counselor McKinnon, seconded by Counselor Nordoff. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. So the next item up on the agenda is number 8, our staff reports, 8A 2023, the dust suppression tender results. And I'll turn that over to our Public Works Manager, Coulter Cahill.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Clark. My first report tonight, as mentioned, is a dust suppressant tender results. Every year in the spring, the township applies a dust suppressant to the gravel road network, basically to stabilize airborne dust particles throughout the dry months of the summer. We closed the dust suppressant tender on February 6th. We received 4 bids. I will note that historically we have applied 375 flake ton to our gravel roads. Last year we took a look at this and due to the cost rising, we did drop down to 300 flake ton. And we were basically just going to monitor the situation and see how the gravel roads held up throughout the summer. And actually after monitoring the gravel roads, I think it was a great move. And our program really hasn't been looked at in a few years, and we have hard surfaced over 27 kilometers of road in the south end of the township alone. So I think we were definitely due to just lower our quantity, and it does help us stay within budget. So this year we were under budget by $200, I believe. It's gonna go through my report here. Yes, we were under the budget amount by $200. So that definitely worked out. My recommendation is below, but I will open up for questions.
Okay, are there any questions for Coulter? Betty Ann, Counselor Kingma, McKinnon?
Through
be
you,
all right.
Mayor Sue, to Coulter. 4 bids is greater than what we normally have been getting. And is that, in your opinion, due to getting the quotes out earlier?
Yes, actually, Councilor McKenna, I was gonna note that on my second report, we were one of the first municipalities to have our tenders out this year. So I know in the gravel contract, it made a huge difference because we were kind of setting the bar for the rest of the municipalities. So there's a lot of contractors calling the day of closing, wanting to get their prices because they had to put in their tenders for other municipalities. So I think it worked out definitely in our favor, and we aim to do this moving forward. So absolutely.
Yeah, and that just further reinforces the importance of getting a budget done early so that we can be first to the table to get the good price. So that's great. Thanks for doing that. Are there any other questions for Coulter? Seeing none, we have a recommendation that council approve the tender received from 552976 Ontario Limited in the amount of $366 plus HST per flake tone for the supply and application of dust suppressant. Could I have a mover for that? Moved by Councillor Nordoff, seconded by Councillor Brody. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. The second report is also yours, Coulter, please.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor Clark. The second report is on our maintenance gravel tenders. Again, these tenders close the same day on February 6th. Each gravel road in the township receives a maintenance lift every 3 years on average, give or take, unless, a section of road requires additional resources. Just historically, again, we have applied 14,000 ton of maintenance gravel to our road network. And we did reduce the quantity last year, again, due to inflation. We did monitor the situation and we did actually think it was a great idea. Again, we've hard surfaced a lot of roads in the past 10 years and, we haven't reduced our quantity. So this does realign us with the program and does help with our budget. So this year we budgeted 12,000 ton. And that's what we tendered out. Based on all the bids received, we were under the budget amount of $240,000 by $24,720 plus HST. Just in speaking to what Councillor McKinnon brought up before, the other three bids were well over $20 a ton. This one came in at $17.94. So, speaking of getting it out early, it worked out in our favor yet again. So. My recommendation is below, but I will open it up for any questions.
Are there any questions for Coulter at this time? Seeing none, we have a recommendation that council approve the tender received from Chris Reguer Trucking Limited in the amount of $17.94 plus HST per ton for the supply and application of maintenance gravel. Could I have a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Kingma, seconded by Councillor McKinnon. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, the next item on our agenda is 8C, the Fire Services Review and Community Risk Assessment Procurement. And I'll turn that over to our CAO, Morgan Calvert.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I was just looking at the council agenda, and to be honest, I don't see the staff report or the contract posted, so I'm not sure if council's actually seen either the report or the proposed contract.
It's on the bylaw at the bottom.
Okay. So I can just rip through the report because really the contract's the piece of the transparency component. So at the end of the day, council received a procurement related report. I think it was one of your first staff reports as part of the new term of council on December 12th. Council approved the procurement process for the fire services review consultant at that time, and then directed me to put a contract for services together. So I worked with the Middlesex County's Barrister and Solicitor Office to develop this contract. It's a fairly routine contract that results of majority of probably procurement processes that the legal department helped to facilitate. It covers off the contract term, so it's really just anticipated that this service should be completed by the end of the year, but there's a baked in 6-month extension because some things can happen on either side that could cause us to have to delay that project completion. So we built in some backup or redundancy there. We also acknowledge the things that we need to acknowledge, like indemnification, that they're an independent contractor, and our obligations under the Occupational Health and Safety Act. So the contract's in really good shape. It points back to the RFP that we released, and it points back to their proposal. So basically it says the contractor will do all the things that are required based on the procurement process and based on the things that you said you were going to do as part of your proposal. If council has any questions, I'm happy to take them at this time. Otherwise, I'd kindly ask council to approve the contract for services, and you'll see a bylaw later on.
Yeah, there was may not been, the report was not there, but it is, the contract is in the bylaws. So hopefully nobody missed that. You're okay.
I'll send the report right now, just so you guys have it.
Councillor Kingma.
Thank you, Mayor Clark. What is the likelihood that we could get an interim report before the final is released. I'm just curious about whether there could be a fairly short-term or immediate need to do something. And that might have budget implications. So could we get an interim report?
The consultants seem very flexible, so certainly we could work on putting an interim report together for council. I'm thinking you're going to want to see some preliminary recommendations based on preliminary review of the fire services department. I can tell you that there's already one thing that we're going to be working on in the very near future, which is the establishment and regulatory bylaw for the fire services department. Because there's certain levels of service that council will need to consider at that time. And essentially what we're going to do is reflect the level of service that we've seen from council through council decisions, resolutions and budget approvals. We'll bring that level of service document as part of that regulating bylaw to council just to shore that up. But if we see anything in the near term that needs to be completed quickly, we'll be doing that as well. So I hope that answers your question.
Councillor Kingma?
Yeah, could I just point out a technical, thanks for the answer, by the way. Just wondering also, section 10.1 has an incomplete sentence. Would anyone like to complete that?
So that's the confidentiality clause. So essentially anything that we provide the consultant is confidential. I'll have to work with legal to determine if what is left here or if it was supposed to be removed. It does look like an incomplete sentence, and for my time working with confidentiality clauses, it looks unnecessary at this time.
Yeah, I was just going to suggest it's likely going to be redundant. Okay.
So Mayor just asked if we're generally okay with the document. I would say yes, but if council wants to add in their substantially completed version, given attention to section 10.1, I can shore that up with legal just to make sure that we aren't missing anything.
What's the wish of the group? Councillor Kingman?
My wish is to proceed with what we're looking at currently.
Okay, thank you. Are you prepared to make that a motion? Okay, so we have a motion on the floor that council approve the attached contract for service with Emergency Services Strategy and Solutions, ESSSI, for the completion of a fire services review and community risk assessment. A seconder for that? Moved by Councillor Brody. All those in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. Okay, so we are now going to go into our closed session. And I need a motion to do that, please. So moved by Councillor McKinnon, seconded by Councillor Kingma, that at 7:48 p.m. on Tuesday, February the 21st, we enter into a closed section pursuant to section 2392 of the Municipal Act 2001 as amended to discuss the following matters: litigation or potential litigation, including matters before administrative tribunals affecting the municipality or local board, servicing agreement between Adelaide Metcalfe and Strathroy Caradoc.